Hey guys, I'm Nick with Fifth Gear in Aubrey Crossroads. If you notice behind me, there is no Land Rover because we've already fixed it and the customer's down on the road. However, we'll go over what they came in with. The customer was complaining that we've got kind of a sweet smell. We've got a low coolant light on, so that prompted us to do some investigation work. We'll tell you what we found on this vehicle. So we wonder, why do we have these issues with our Land Rover cooling system? Kind of boils down to what motor do we have? Do you have the Ingenium or do you have the V arrangement motor? Both motors have their downfalls. What we've been seeing on the Ingenium motor, which is the newer version, the inline motor, the seals that they were using on the turbocharger for the coolant, they weren't quite what they needed. So they've updated the part to a better O-ring. It's got better temperature ratings and it's got different chemical compounds. Now on the V arrangement motors that we've been using for 10-15 years, not a whole lot's changed in that time. They've been using plastic coolant hoses. Now, over the course of years of warming up, cooling down, warming up, the plastics start to, become brittle and eventually they break. In the last couple of years, Land Rover's actually updated those pipes to be in metal. So really what it comes down to is rolling change in parts. We've updated the parts that came on the vehicle to a better quality part that we are reinstalling. As a customer, how do I know that I got an issue with my Land Rover? Actually pretty simple. If you look at your dash when you start the vehicle, it actually will tell you that you got coolant level that is low. Now, things that I might see, you might be able to see, is when you look underneath your vehicle, you've got the skid plate. You might not see a whole bunch of coolant, but these small little drops here and there is coolant that is leaking out of your motor. Now, on some vehicles, if you've got like a plastic splash shield or a fabric splash shield, it might actually collect it and you might not see drips on the ground. Time and time we have a vehicle come in for an oil change. We told Mr. Customer, hey, you got a coolant leak? No, I don't have anything dripping. Well, actually your splash shield is collecting that coolant that is leaking out of the vehicle. But it boils down to, if you got a low coolant light on, more likely we got low coolant. So what happens if we ignore this coolant issue? It's kind of a broad spectrum. Could be as simple as, hey, we missed breakfast, or could be we need a new motor. Unfortunately for this customer, they are on their way back from purchasing this vehicle. They had a coolant hose blow off. They saw the low coolant light. They said, cool, we'll keep on driving. Then we had the overheat lamp come on. They said, cool, and kept on driving until the vehicle shut off. If it is ignored, you can be like this customer and have the great opportunity to replace your motor. So how does one fix this coolant leak issue that we keep on talking about? It really starts with finding where the leak is coming from. We start with the courtesy check. It's no cost to you. Let's figure out what we got going on. Let's get some eyes on it. So we start by using a flashlight and see what we got going on. Something visible, something obvious. If not, we might need to go a little bit further into it. And it's using a pressure tester to be able to pressurize our coolant system, be able to identify where the coolant leak is coming from. Now that we know what has failed, we can give you a call. Mr. and Ms. Customer, hey, great news. We need a couple parts, get it done later. And at that point, we go in, do the repair, and now we need to do a vacuum fill. The reason vacuum filling is so crucial is because there are a lot of coolant hoses on these newer motors. So what happens is you get airlock. We need to pull all the air out of the coolant system to be able to properly fill the coolant system back up. If not, you can actually overheat the motor due to having air trapped within the system. So how do I stay up on my maintenance with my Land Rover? With annual maintenance, maybe once or twice a year, come in for an oil change. Let me put eyes on your vehicle. It's part of our oil change service. Things that I'm looking for while I'm under your hood is, one, do I have dried coolant somewhere? That's a dead giveaway that we've got a seal that's about to go. The other thing that I'm looking for is the color of the plastics of the coolant hoses, connectors. Are these guys starting to turn light brown color? That's my first key giveaway, that we've got plastics that are starting to deteriorate. Right now, as we're starting to come out of summer, things are cooling down. Keep in mind, the last time those plastics were 40 degrees Fahrenheit was the last time it was 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Plastics will continue to have different thermal dynamics as temperatures continue to change. As we're coming out of the hottest time of the year, let me check with your coolant system and make sure there's no impending doom in your near future. Guys, I want to thank you for spending a couple moments to listen to these issues that we have with our Land Rover coolant systems. If you guys see any of these warning lights, if you smell these sweet smells that we were talking about, please give me a call. I'd love to take a look at it. If we need to go further into it, we can address that then. I'm in the Aubrey Crossroads area. We also have a store out in McKinney. We got one in Louisville and we got one out in Argyle. Give us a call. We'd like to give you some help.